It is your favorite Compas, and this is your Championship Sunday NFL Takeaways episode. Gilbert, only one game left. You know we have plenty to say about the Chiefs' win over the Bengals, the Eagles' dominant victory over the 49ers. Man, that that got out of hand quickly, but no pun to the Niners quarterbacks. Now the Chiefs will have to play the Eagles in the Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. And that reminds me, Gilbert, don't you have a question for our viewers and our listeners?
Yes, I do. It's a engagement question of the week. By the way, we should get that sponsor one time. Engagement question sponsored by so and so. But yeah, hit us up. Hit up Dan and Daygo. But I
There you
do
go.
have a question. Unfortunately, two teams had to lose on championship weekend, and that is the San Francisco 49ers and the Cincinnati Bengals. So it's a good question too, I feel like. But which from the two teams, the teams they lost, sorry to bring it up again, are better suited to be in the same position next year to make the championship game? Joe Burrow and the Bengals with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, all the same crew, or the 49ers with Kyle Shanahan and whoever plays quarterback. Give me a comment give me the comment in the comments on the YouTube video. There you go. And if you're watching this or listening on audio, get to YouTube and give me your thoughts on this engagement question of the week.
That's actually a really good one. No, I'm not going to give you my answer. I'm going to wait. But thank you, Gilbert, for that. Thanks to the listeners and viewers of Compas on the Beat. We got to 700 subscribers. Let's keep it going. We're on the road to 1K. But first, Dan and Dago has a few things to say.
Welcome one, welcome all to another glorious Wednesday. You like that little hang time right there? You already know what it is. You're not just seeing Dan and Dago's face because it's beautiful. You're seeing Dan and Dago's face because it means it's hump day and your favorite program has dropped another episode. You already know what it is. Real quick, just before we get into it, Homage. You got to go check out our friends over, our compas over there at Homage. The links are in the description. Get all the best NFL gear. They got MLB. What? They got 90s references. What? I saw them doing some cool stuff for the NBA with DC Comics. That's pretty awesome. So go check that stuff out at Homage. The links are in the description. Do not forget to let them know the compa sent you. And like I tell you, you get a lot of shirts sent to you when you order them online. You can't wear them at first because you got to wash them first so it feels a little better. Not with Homage. As soon as you get it, you can throw that sucker on, head to the pub so you can go watch a game with your buddies. It is absolutely amazing. And you know what? What better shirts can you find for the Super Bowl weekend? You won't find none. It's the best. Do not fret. Go over there and let them know your compa sent you. But anyway, this program gets pretty active today. You know, there's no other way to say it. Gilberto chose violence today. We got into it. It was real spicy. So don't forget, we got all your AF Conference Championship takeaways. We got the LA beat. We got rapid fire. We got it all. Just come on over. Be a compa, tell a compa. But now it's time to get to the best damn program in all the universe. From all the way across the hallway. Play the music, Nando!
Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I am Fernando Ramirez. I cover the Los Angeles Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano, OC Register, LA Daily News. What's up, bro?
What's up, Fernando? I'm excited this week. A little disappointed though because there's no football, like real football this week. There's a Pro Bowl, but that means we're one week closer to getting to Super Bowl Radio Row in Phoenix. Time to hit the road, like we're the crew from Hangover. So I'm excited about that, and also it was a good weekend too, Fernando. Hung out with Victor actually. We support our friend Alonso. You know Alonso. He's a big 49ers fan, and unfortunately, it was not their day, and it was pretty ugly, but a good time hanging out with the boys, with the
No
compas.
bang bang Niner gang.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what you
Did
want
you
to
try
call
any of
that.
the candy that he brought back from Peru, or he didn't share with you guys?
Actually, no. Now I think about it, he did not share any
Wow, that's shady.
candy. Yeah, he's
I
probably
saw him.
watching right now, so he
Even
feels bad
posted. He
now.
even posted. I'm putting some to take back home. I was like, oh, I wonder if Gilbert's gonna try some of that candy because
Well, I guess when the 49ers get crushed like that, you're not in the mood to hand out candy. You can't be the candy man in that situation. So
you should have gotten it before the game.
Yeah, I know, but maybe Brock Purdy needs a lollipop because that was a rough game for him.
That's an MCL tear, which he's out for 6 months.
Ouch.
That's we'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah, it was an interesting weekend, obviously, with everything. You know what sucks is now that they moved it to 17 game or an 18-week schedule, the Royal Rumble used to be in that weekend in between the NFC and AFC championship and the Super Bowl. So this weekend was perfect because it used to be that, but now for some reason, I think the WWE didn't want to go up against the Pro Bowl because usually the Pro Bowl, I don't know why it does
It
good
does, yeah.
numbers, and I'm sure they wanted to switch it. Now it's on Saturday. So by the way, get my ding out of the way. The MVP of the weekend for me was Pat McAfee.
Oh man,
He came back. He was on commentary.
not
No
even 5
Corey
minutes into
Graves.
the
No
program.
Corey Graves. I didn't have to listen to Corey Graves. Get him out of here. I don't need Corey Graves. Michael Cole, Pat McAfee. That's my commentating duo that I need. So, but
Maybe
no,
we'll see on my radio roll. Maybe it's a good
yeah, you
time
never
for you to
know.
bring it up.
Yeah, but it was awesome to watch the Royal Rumble. I always loved, like, to me the Royal Rumble is it's probably WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, Undertaker, WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and then probably Survivor Series. Like those are my big 4 pay-per-views. So the Royal Rumble, I just love it because you never know who's gonna come up. And the problem is I saw somebody tweet out, I don't know who it was. There was an individual that was underneath a towel and was covered up, and they ran him through the backstage of WWE. So I thought, could we get the most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment? Could we get the leader of the Cena Nation and John Cena? Could we get the rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin? It was Logan Paul, I guess. But I mean, he's all right and everything. But I was just hoping maybe it was one of those guys. John Cena, though, I just saw on social media he's in Australia filming a new movie with Zac Efron. So obviously it wasn't going to be Cena. The Rock, you know what's funny? This is the reason why I feel like The Rock might be coming back. He's been very quiet since this whole Black Adam controversy happened. If you want to gain love from the millions and millions of Rock supporters, come on back. You know the door's open. You know fans want to watch you wrestle. Get the love back of all these of all the fans. Come back to WWE.
Fernando,
Fight the tribal chief.
you sound like you want to record an episode of Combat Compas.
Yeah, my bad. I'm
It
sorry.
reminds me, subscribe to Combat Compas on YouTube, and we had a few shorts last week.
Yes, we did.
They did pretty well, so that was fun.
It was fun to get back into it, especially with everything going on with combat sports in the next few months. Very good fights coming up. WrestleMania is going to be in Los Angeles. So, by the way, Gilbert, the sign was put up at SoFi Stadium. WrestleMania 39 goes Hollywood. It was put up at SoFi Stadium, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I just my uncle was here over the weekend. We hung out with him, Dan, Daygo, and Little Daniel, and I watched the AFC and NFC championships. Little Daniel was pissing off my brother, so that wasn't good, especially because he was already in a mood.
Oh, I'm guessing for that Chiefs-Bengals game, it must have been much more louder than the first game. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, the first game it was okay, and then the first game was whatever. That second game is where Dan really became animated, and there was a lot of noise going through the house. So definitely, the dog's used to it, but at times he would jump up like, "Oh, what's going on?"
If you tell me you're buying a new table, I know why.
Because Little Daniel went through the damn
table. There you go.
Especially with everything that he was saying. But yeah, definitely awesome I'm glad you had a good weekend, Gilbert, hanging out with so how was Alonzo? Was it bad?
Oh, for surprisingly, he was I think when you know the game is over by the second quarter, after Josh Johnson couldn't get the the snap there and they scored, it was over after that. So I think
would have
he
just
came to
thrown
peace with that.
McCaffrey in at quarterback. Like, what are you going to lose from having him be the quarterback?
Yeah, I wonder if he would have just got that snap and they go down and score something, a field goal, would the game be a little closer? Because the 49ers defense, besides the dumb penalties, they kind of held it down for a while. And they were just, after a while, it's kind of, okay, they're scoring. And you can't do anything when Purdy is like throwing 2-yard dump offs, you know?
You know, it's funny, real quick, in that game, I mean, speaking of Combat Compas, you saw Trent Williams slam down one of the Eagles defenders, and Dan and Daygo then looks and he's like, "Look who's together," and I'm like, "Look who?" And then I look up, Ndamukong Suh, and Trent Williams are face to face. I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, this is the main event of the evening.
Yeah,
But
that's like
then they
Hulk
said, oh,
Hogan
they're
and
really good
Andre the
friends.
Giant meeting at WrestleMania. So that was pretty cool.
Exactly. Godzilla versus King Kong. But then I heard, oh, they're really good friends. And I'm like, oh, crap. Good that they stopped everything. But
when I saw Ndamukong go over, I'm like, this is gonna get about to get real. And then nothing happened. I'm like, oh, they seem way too chill. But that just shows you how much respect they have for each other, going against each other for many years.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Well, let's now go over to Compas on the LA beat. Gilbert. A lot of movement has happened. The Chargers have kind of been a lot louder than the Rams, I think, so far this offseason. Taking away, the playoff loss and everything. Justin Herbert posted a picture on Instagram that he had his torn labrum, and the Chargers announced it. His torn labrum in his left shoulder. He was fixed. He should be ready to go by spring ball, which happens in a couple of weeks. The Chargers hired Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator, which I think Kellen Moore was jobless for about 15 minutes an hour.
Must be
and got a
nice,
new job. He's no Craig from Friday. How do you get fired on your day off? No. Here he got fired and then hired.
I'm sure he got fired and then promoted too.
Exactly. So, you do get promoted. You're going from Dak to Justin Herbert, so that's a promotion right there.
And you get to live in LA. Sorry, Dallas area.
Exactly. Gilbert, what do you make of everything that's gone on in Charger world?
What should I start with, Herbert or Kellen Moore? Because you got a lot going on.
Kellen Moore.
Yeah. You're asking me this now in the evening we're recording on Monday, and I really like it. At first I'm like, okay, Dak Prescott didn't really develop. This offense is kind of shaky. You don't really win much in the playoffs. But it's more than that, right? Like, you're coming in and you're trying to help Justin Herbert, and that's all that matters. And you want to have a good system for Justin Herbert. And I like this kind of, creativity, little new age offense. And I don't know how much into analytics Kellen Moore is, but he likes to push that ball down the field. I could have chosen a different word, push that thing down. When you got the son of Odin, Dan Daygo loves that. You could throw the ball down the field. That's all I care about. Like, you gotta have this offense tailor made for Justin Herbert. And for some reason, that never really developed with Joe Lombardi, which is frustrating to a lot of Chargers fans. And I get, I always go back to the conversation that Joe Lombardi had with us when I was there, Fernando, where I think he completed like 70% of his passes against the Eagles. And he's like, man, it's just hard to get away from that when you're getting, 5 to 10 yards at such a high rate, like almost 80%, whatever it is. And then that told me, like, this guy is just, for some reason, does not want to go away from that or push the ball down the field. And Kellen Moore won't be that problem. And then just seeing the way this offense evolved to be suited for Tony Pollard and being more of a run-heavy offense with Zeke, we all knew Zeke was kind of the back end of his prime, or I guess he probably left his prime. And for him to adjust and make it work like that, they weren't the top scoring team in the NFL, but they were up there. 2021, they were the top team scoring in the NFL in points and yards. So it's a good system there. And the best thing, and also I mentioned on What's Up Bolts, so check out What's Up Bolts too. Subscribe. Is, I'm losing my point here. Oh yeah, DVOA. The nerds love that. It was top 6 in 2021. So it's a very creative offense scheme, and I'm just excited now to see what Herbert could do with an experienced play caller as well. That's another big point. 4 years with the Cowboys calling plays, and I guess there were some management blunders at the end, but that could be more a Mike McCarthy thing. That's my only concern with the hire here.
No, I completely agree, and I feel like obviously Kellen Moore, Charger fans should be excited. Kellen Moore, I know, is excited because this is live video of Kellen Moore accepting the Chargers job.
I eat more candy.
Look at that. That's Kellen Moore.
Where do you find all these clips, man? I'm not even sure if the producer knows these are coming either.
And this is Augustus Gloop. Oh, okay, for What's Up Bolts, we did the version of Augustus Gloop in the the only version that should exist of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But obviously, I had to do this one. I had to do the version with Johnny Depp just for fun. But definitely, I think Charger fans should be excited. Like you said, you're going to push the football. It's gonna be different. I think Joe Lombardi for some reason kept. And you remember when Drew Brees came to us, and when he was there, he said,
Oh yeah.
Joe Lombardi needs to tailor this offense around Justin Herbert. I didn't feel like that happened. I felt like we were still watching Drew Brees with his arm all messed up, and him, Justin Herbert, basically throwing check downs and a lot of stuff that was like 5-yard routes, and that's not the offense that obviously the Chargers want to run. And Brandon Staley said it. He's like, we want to be a different kind of offense. We want to move the football down the field. And like we said on What's Up Bolts, Mike McCarthy in his exit interview, he praised Kellen Moore for the way he's helped Dak develop. Remember, Dak last year was an MVP candidate. 37 touchdowns, over 4,400 yards, and only 10 interceptions. So, and that was another thing that I give Justin Herbert kudos for this year. When missing all of his receivers and we're missing receivers and stuff like that and playmakers, he only threw 10 interceptions. That's actually pretty good for a guy that had the labrum, had the ribs, and on top of that, missing these guys. I mean, 10 interceptions is not bad. So definitely, I think fans should be excited about Kellen Moore. And first of all, you guys got to give it time, let it develop. I know. I remember 3 games in at Joe Lombardi, people had their pitchforks ready to go last year, and I'm like, oh no, actually no, it was half of the season. And because remember at the beginning they started off 4-1 or 3-1 or something like that. They beat Kansas City.
No, I still remember. There was still some.
Well, yeah, there were still some, but I'm saying like everybody relax and let it develop. But what do you think about the Justin?
Yeah, let me give you one more thought here because the funny thing with Lombardi and Herbert, a lot of people are like, "Hey, you got to pass the ball, you got to push it." Like he did pass the ball, like he called a lot of passing plays, a lot, but they weren't just down the field, which was the frustrating part. And the first year I remember with Lombardi, a lot of people were frustrated that they were just too pass heavy and they wouldn't run the football. They couldn't establish a run, and that's another big part of it. I think what Kellen Moore, he knows how to have a balance, and I think you brought up that good quote from Staley. He wants to marry both the pass and the running game, and Kellen Moore would do that. And at the same time, he will attack downfield, so you get kind of the complementary football on the offensive side, where everything's in sync. I think it's gonna be big. Now the thing
I think Joe Reedy, real quick. Joe Reedy said the Cowboys last year were 52-48.
That's
when it
good
came to
for
the
me.
pass and the run.
Yeah, because sometimes you were throwing too much for Herbert, and then you weren't really doing much, besides the 10-yard kind of dump offs. But
somebody asked him last year, I think it was, you threw 60 times in the game. How does your arm feel? Ha ha ha.
He's like, I didn't throw downfield once. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. It was all little rabbit passes.
But yeah, this would be more creative and it still be kind of, I shouldn't say pass heavy, but when I think pass heavy, I think about pushing the ball down the field. But the numbers will still be kind of closer to 50-50. So the thing with Herbert, though, my only thing is like it'll be concerning if this lingers through training camp. And you know how it is in training camp. Some guys don't show up. But like, is he coming? Is he playing this week? And it starts 1 week, and people stop asking. And then, okay, is he coming back? And then it becomes 2 months or whatever. And then out of nowhere, he just comes and shows up for week 1 and he's rusty. So we'll see what happens with Justin Herbert. But if he's everything they're saying, it's fine and dandy, but you can never believe what people tell you all the time. So we'll see what happens with him. But he took a beating in 2022, a bunch of injuries. Hopefully he's rested in the offseason and OTAs. I don't think OTAs, I know the Rams like to say, oh, like Stafford missed OTAs and that was big, whatever. But I think training camps where it matters. You need to have chemistry because it's going to be some new pieces. You got to be developed. And also, by the way, there's a new coach in Kellen Moore, so you want to be there. I think that might be the bigger part of the OTAs. But as long as you're around and you know the system, once training camp comes, you want to have everything there. So don't be too concerned, but you never know with surgeries because you see it too many times in the NFL. One guy, like the season goes bad, and then they'll tell you in October, like, yeah, that surgery really set me back. So I think it matters a little bit.
But with Matthew Stafford, it lingered throughout the whole season, right? Like everything that all the hurt that he had gone through, or was it different stuff?
Well, it's everything. They took a beating with the offensive line. He got the spine thing. He had the concussion, and then the arm couldn't.
Yeah.
So that's a different.
Obviously, I completely agree with everything you just said. I'm going to be interested to see if Brandon actually plays players this year in preseason games. That's going to be something to monitor. I'm going to be interested to see if he does that. Now jumping over to the Rams, Gilbert. They made the official of Mike LaFleur, the hiring of Mike LaFleur as the offensive coordinator. Legit, obviously. I'm wondering if McVay's going to hire a whole new coaching staff, or what do you think is going to end up happening there?
Well, the thing that I'm more curious about now, because Zach Robinson, Greg Olsen, and Thomas Brown did not get this Chargers job. Do they just go back? And the one that I can't figure out is Zach Robinson. Does McVay like him? I know he likes Thomas Robinson a lot. And sorry,
Yeah,
yeah, Thomas
Thomas
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know why I keep saying the basketball player. Thomas Brown. Uh, he had an interview with the Commanders. Maybe they like him there. It sounds like he won't get the Texans job because the Miko Ryan's job to lose. So maybe Thomas Brown and Zach Robinson. That's why I'm confused. Go back. And I think Sean McVay definitely likes Brown, but I don't know about Robinson. And then Greg Olsen is means a lot to Sean McVay because of those Tampa Bay years with Gruden. So I wouldn't be surprised if all three come back. But also, you're waiting on Raheem Morris. Maybe I'll ask you this question, Fernando. You think Raheem Morris should get a job with either the Colts or the Broncos?
I think I saw somewhere that they already informed him that they're not gonna. Man, the Broncos are aiming high. I don't know if we're talking about this or not, but like they had a second interview with Jim Harbaugh, but didn't Jim Harbaugh said no to them?
Yeah,
So I'm like, where's the Broncos job? And then I'm hearing that Sean Payton at the Saints want 2 first-round draft picks for Sean Payton,
that's making
and
it difficult.
I'm like, what? It like so like you're nice, like a first round draft pick. Yeah, sure, go ahead. 2 first-round draft picks, like, dude, you're what position are you gonna play on the field? Like, no, there's no way. Like, you're telling me he's worth a Jalen Ramsey? Like, nah, that's how much Jalen went for 2 first-round draft picks. So my bad. I know I went off. Um, I'm interested to see with Raheem Morris because the Colts job seems to be like the one that he might be in line
Yeah,
for, and that might be his job. But I keep on hearing Jeff Saturday's name, and I'm like, don't tell me you're really gonna go with this guy. Like, and I mean, maybe Jeff Saturday could develop into the role, but I just don't think it's a smart idea for the Colts, especially. But I mean, Jim Irsay, who's gonna fire Jim Irsay? Like, nobody's gonna fire him. So, because he's the owner, so obviously, but heck, if I was the general manager and he hired Jeff Saturday, I'd quit as the damn general manager. I'd be like in draft day. I can't, Sonny. I quit, Sonny. I cannot coach a team that doesn't have a future in it. So I definitely would pull something like that. But I think Raheem Morris I think they should consider him for that Colts job. Obviously, they have a good defense. DeForest Buckner, Kenny Moore. They have some very good pieces there. I would Shaquille Leonard, I think his name is.
yeah, new name.
Yeah. I remember him as Darius.
Yeah,
But I think he should be in line for the Colts job, and I think he'll be a finalist. But I wonder if McVay wants him back as a defensive coordinator. Last year, the defense struggled for the first time, and I hadn't seen that Rams defense struggle like that in a long time. So I wonder if he wants Raheem Morris back.
I I think he does. I think they like each other a lot, and I think if you want to keep the same group, they all love Raheem Morris, like Donald, Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey. The Jalen Ramsey one is tricky because he does like Raheem Morris, but will he be around? We'll find out later. But yeah, I'm just wondering too. Like if you're Thomas Brown and Zach Robinson, and you come in and Michael Furr got the job, and you're like, why does this guy get in and we didn't get promoted? So it's
Yeah,
going to be very interesting all around with that coaching staff. But yeah, you're right. So
I'm with
a
you.
lot more going on with the Chargers and the Rams right now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Gilbert, it's time to transition to Compas on the NFL. What was your biggest takeaway from championship weekend?
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. I think I had this. For me, the Bengals probably regret saying Burrowhead, and I'm all for the trash talk there, but sometimes when you talk too much, he's gonna come back and bite you. And I think they were poking the sleeping bear, and it wasn't just Mahomes. The whole team was fired up, and Kelsey dropped a sick promo, and I'll get into it more later, for the burial of the week, but. I get the Bengals were confident, high and mighty, but you're still going into a road environment against a very talented team. And yeah, you had their number. And shout out to Chris Jones. He kept it real the whole time. Like he was like, yeah, it's not really a rivalry. We haven't beaten this team. But yeah, they want to keep talking trash. Okay, we're gonna remember. And they showed up. And you know, that situation was happening again. You know how last was an ABC title game where there was a fumble and it came back to bite the Chiefs in the butt and the Bengals rally. Chris Jones was like, I'm not gonna let this happen again, and he was just pressuring Joe Burrow. So it was kind of cool to. I get people are gonna mention it. It's annoying that people like to have like bulletin board, but they kept just poking the bear there and calling it Burrowhead, and that really upset people. And I don't know if that matters too much, but you could tell it elevated their game overall. Like, guys were just all fired up for Mahomes, and if it's a different team, um, that's not as motivated, maybe the Bengals win that game because Mahomes wasn't doing too much at times. I was a stagnant offense. He hurt with the fumble there, and he wasn't playing healthy. So that was a Bengals game to win, and they didn't do it. And you could tell in the final 5 minutes they were just fired up and motivated, and they came out in the post game speeches.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway was Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo called a great game both ways. I think Steve Spagnuolo, he just kept on going at. He knew that they were a wounded bear. The Bengals honestly did everything right on paper during last offseason. What do I mean by that? They went and they got their offensive line fixed. They went and they got players. La'el Collins as a right tackle. They got Kappa. They got the guy from the dude from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Jonah Williams obviously came back as their left tackle. All three of those guys were hurt, unfortunately, and they couldn't play, so they had to put backups in. So, but in the offseason, they just did everything correctly. It just came back to bite them in this game. Obviously, the offensive line. I was surprised they went away from the run game, and I guess they didn't have any faith in their offensive line. But at one point, Dan and I were kind of looking at each other and we're like, why aren't they running the ball more? Like, what is with that? Like, why aren't they running the football?
I didn't know Joe Mixon was on the field the whole time.
Joe Mixon was barely on the field. It was more P. Ryan or whatever his name is. So I was surprised by that. But then Andy Reid on offense just called. He knew exactly. I think he kind of told Pat, you need to chill and be in the pocket more. You need to chill out. When he starts moving, this is the brilliance of Andy Reid. I watched that game last year. I rewatched that game last year, the Bengals and the Chiefs. The reason why the Bengals were able to disrupt Patrick Mahomes is because he moved outside of the pocket. Well, who the hell's waiting for you out there? Hendrickson and Hubbard. Hendrickson and Hubbard were rushing, expecting Mahomes to move outside of the pocket, and they were going to disrupt him. Well, guess what he didn't do? He didn't move this year. This year, he was in the pocket.
He can't really move either. He had one bad leg.
Well, yeah, no, he can't move. Yeah, no, I know. But I'm saying, like, because of the injury, it kind of forced him to play in a different way and stay in the pocket and make his throws, make his progressions, make sure he knows exactly what he's seeing. So I thought Andy Reid, if what I'm thinking happened, Andy Reid told him stay in the pocket, beat him in the pocket, make sure you do your thing. And that's the way they beat him because Hubbard and those other guys weren't on his ass the way they typically were. So I give all the credit to Steve Spagnuolo. Every year, Gilbert, we get Steve Spagnuolo should be fired halfway through the season. And this year it didn't happen. I think he's coached beautifully. The interesting part is, too, they have a lot of rookies in that secondary, and he's doing a great job with those cornerbacks. Did a really good job yesterday in disrupting Joe Burrow and making life hard for them.
This might be their best defense since with the Chiefs and Spags like ever, because I think that Super Bowl year they won, they're a very good defense in terms of like just being aggressive and blitzing and getting pressure, but it was a very risky, so they gave up a lot of yards. This one looks like a complete defense. I know they're young, but I do like the job that he's done.
The one thing I worry about with the Chiefs, though, I hope they don't feel like they just played their Super Bowl. The reason why I say that is because usually the one that you really go out and you win with all your heart. I saw Travis Kelce crying. I saw Patrick Mahomes screaming and cheering, kind of like if he had just won the Super Bowl. And I'm kind of like, whoa. And I know that after I think somebody told me that the general manager or that Patrick Mahomes said, oh, the job's not done. He tried to go Kobe. Good luck trying. But I just hope that they don't think that they just played their Super Bowl because, man, what's upcoming is gonna be tough. The upcoming team that they have is gonna be a lot tougher. But I thought they did a really good job. But I just thought Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo called a masterful game. So kudos to both of them. And Andy Reid is just, I really do think that he is underrated when it comes to coaching. I think he is. He definitely deserves to be up there in the upper echelons of coaching. The only thing is he hasn't won a Super Bowl. But it's not for a lack of trying. I mean, he's had great teams. He's carried bums to Super Bowls, and he's carried guys that shouldn't even be there to to the playoffs and to other things, but he definitely deserves a lot of credit. But Gilbert, obviously, what do you think the biggest storyline of this Super Bowl is going to be?
Yeah, Fernando, you forgot to mention and take away how inspired you were by that gritty performance from Patrick Mahomes with one bad leg, just willing his team to another Super Bowl. But I get it.
Andy Reid.
You don't have to give credit to the quarterback. Unless it's Tom Brady, that's about it. And I saw a lot of national writers giving flowers to Mahomes, and I wonder what Fernando thought. But that's not the storyline. I feel like my storyline.
Got to give the Zebras more credit than you would Mahomes, I think.
Yeah, well, you and your brother drink the same Kool-Aid. And
Why
the
is it
Andy Reid,
Kool-Aid?
I don't know, whatever Mexicans drink. Champurrado. There you
Agua de
go.
Jamaica or
Yeah,
chata.
or chata. There you go.
No, actually, I didn't think I actually didn't think that the refs. I didn't think they did anything. I just heard a lot of no. I just thought they were terrible all around in both games. Like I thought in the 49er game, like they were also bad. Like we're
They,
getting to a boiling point, and I'm sorry to go on this rant, but Joey Bosa is right about something. Like these guys are boiling over. They're starting to get really frustrated. And I'm telling you, we're gonna get to a point where something's gonna happen where a player's gonna get in the official's face and all hell's gonna break loose. I hope we don't get to that point, but it's starting to boil over. I really have noticed that players are really starting to go after officiating. I think it's time for the NFL to put.
is that your biggest storyline in the Super Bowl week?
No, my bad. I just have to say this. Like, I just think that we're
No.
getting to that boiling point where I think you should put real officials. If the players have to sit down, watch film, study, do the same thing with the referees. You can't bring
Yeah.
in doctors and lawyers and all this stuff to at part-time come and referee. Like, it's starting to get really dangerous, I think, and fans are that do-over. Get the hell out of here. Like, and that had nothing to do with it because obviously the Bengals defense was able to stop them and everything, but that do-over, you can't do that, dude. It's like in one of those, Zach Taylor almost lost it. I think Zach Taylor almost had an aneurysm on the field, like with that play. But I just think overall officiating
Credit to Zach Taylor because he never
bad.
complained about the refs once, and I
No.
appreciate that. But I also
No.
see the side where, like,
But he did mouth, "This shit's rigged." He mouthed in one of those. There was a video that caught him mouthing.
Well, you leave it on the field.
I was
but
like, there you go.
You're not to the presser, but
Yeah.
I read the poll report, and like the way they worded, I'm like, okay, you could kind of get away with that, but but that shows how incompetent you are, that you couldn't stop the play to like not make sure you don't do what you did.
And then Tony Romo and Jim Nantz, well, we couldn't hear because of the whistles. I'm sure they couldn't hear because of the whistles.
Yeah,
BS. If you wanted to get their attention, you totally could have. Like, you
gotta do a better job. Like, just like if you're the referee, lay in the middle of the field and like let us sort it out first, and then we'll figure it out.
Patrick Mahomes to the ground and be like, okay, we're stopping the play.
Yeah, or something.
Kidding.
But
no,
that
but
was crap.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not complaining about. I'm just saying we're getting to a boiling point. I think it's getting really dangerous.
No, they gotta make some changes because I get they want to protect the referees, but they should be held accountable too. And it's so dumb that players who just like put everything on the line in the biggest game, they can't even vent about it in pressers because they're gonna get fined like Joey Bosa, whatever, 55,000. Like, I get you want to protect them, but you got something else. You got to let these guys vent somewhere. Like, that's what media is for, right? What the heck are we doing there? We can't ask about the biggest part of the game, and you like, I can't say anything. What are we doing here?
So you saw that official. He ran to Joey Bosa, and he's like, "What'd you say? What'd you say?"
Yeah.
Joey repeated it, and then he flagged him. Like, what kind of crap is that? Like, are you like you're gonna run over? Lo vas a cucar, and then you're gonna flag him for what he did? Get out of here, dude. Like, and I'm telling you, it's a boiling point. It's gonna get worse if Roger Goodell doesn't step in and do anything. But I mean,
whenever the next CBA is up, they gotta really make that an emphasis. But
don't be a cotton-headed ninny muggins. Do something about it.
What does that even mean?
Have you watched Elf?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, cotton-headed niggy muggins, something like that. But
be careful what you're saying.
No, I know, but it's just dangerous.
Okay,
and I hope
let's move on.
I hope
they
resolve it.
But
all right, what would you think, or what do you think the biggest storyline?
I think that was better than this segment. But and the Andy Reid Bowl, because it's a little ironic because for the longest, Andy Reid and the Eagles couldn't get over the hump, and they didn't win a Super Bowl, and they got to I think 3 or 4 straight NFC championship games. They kept losing until they got that one against the Patriots. And then after that, it was a lot of, disappointment. And the funny thing now, the Eagles are back in the Super Bowl for the second time in 4 years. Like, are they going to be going every single year? Same like Andy Reid. Now it's his third Super Bowl with the Chiefs. So it's a little ironic that he's going back to the Super Bowl for his third time with the Chiefs. I mean, with the Chiefs, obviously, against the Eagles, who are now here back for a second time, potentially winning a second Super Bowl after not winning anything for like 60 years. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good storyline because I think Andy Reid did a lot of great things for that city, and it's a shame how he went out. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, this guy, he chokes in the biggest games." Now he's always going here. It feels like every other year, 5 straight in AFC Championship games, and then 3 Super Bowl appearances. So it's funny how long he's come, and it's the same thing kind of with Doug Peterson. Like, you do well, and then you just really suck for a year or two, and people don't even want to touch you, and they forget all the success he had. So credit to the Chiefs for taking Andy Reid, and look at how it's paying off, and maybe it might pay off with the Jaguars because after Doug Peterson, like, you won a Super Bowl, they quickly forgot, and nobody wanted to hire this guy. So that's kind of a full story there for Andy Reid, I thought.
A certain team had fired their head coach, and when certain people asked, "Why didn't you guys go after Andy Reid? He's too old. We're gonna go in a different direction." There's your too old right there. He's
Think
still
another
hanging on.
team.
And this other coach is he's the quarterback's coach. The coach that they ended up hiring is the quarterback's coach somewhere else. So they've already been through two head coaches since that hire. So that too old. There you go. So definitely interesting. I'm gonna go with the Kelsey Bowl. Obviously, their podcast is awesome. I saw a clip of it where Jason Kelsey's daughter goes, "Hi, Uncle Travi," and then he goes, "Hi, Princess." It's so funny to see both of them on a podcast together. It's cool. I think it's smart that they did it. I can't wait to see if they do episodes these upcoming weeks or not leading up to the game. Like Dan and Daygo told me, he's like, if it was you and me, like I wouldn't talk to you like for the next 2 weeks. I'm like,
Dude.
oh really? He's like, yeah, no, I couldn't talk to you.
Yeah, they should get like an episode with Travis and a cousin, and then an episode with Jason and a
That'd
cousin.
be
Just
awesome.
separate them, have two different kind of
Exactly.
episodes to hear both of their point of views.
Exactly. That definitely. You know what? Could this also be the Tyreek Hill is kicking himself in the ass bowl? Like, could we maybe count that one or no? Do you think?
Yeah, I'm never gonna really understand the situation. He had something really good, and but also too maybe they weren't gonna pay him what he wanted
Yeah.
because like his salary cap was a problem. So
And everybody was getting paid more and more, and he's like,
yeah,
"Hey, I want a new contract. I
but he
want a
kept
new contract."
complaining that he wasn't getting fed enough. He didn't like the system, and it was like, okay, that's not it. It's the
Yeah.
money. I can live with that, but he might be kicking himself if he cares about winning more. I don't know.
You never know. Gilbert, who is going to be the 49ers quarterback next season? Obviously, there's Brock Purdy. What? There's Jimmy G, who's I think he's a free agent, but still Jimmy
Never
G,
know.
you
Could be
could
an option.
re-sign Jimmy G. Trey Lance is still there. Or are you filling in other? And if so, who's your right in?
This kind of sounds like that one game, Mary F.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hill.
yeah, yeah.
And it's funny because they all have like their own thing. Like Jimmy's the one you just can't let go, and but you're tired and you need a
Maybe come
divorce.
back.
Yeah, but it's hard to move on. And then Trey Lance was a new young thing, and it just didn't work out. And Purdy seemed it felt like you met on a dating app, you had a couple dates, and it feels right. But then something comes up, like you have different political beliefs or whatever, so nothing's working out. And then yeah, so I
I was
don't know.
gonna give you a better. I was gonna give you a better metaphor.
Go ahead. You want
Trey
to?
Lance is a Ferrari, but you ain't got no money for the gas because you spent all your money on the Ferrari. It doesn't turn on.
Okay.
And this fool's a Toyota Camry that you do have money and you turn it on and it
Jimmy
does
G?
work. Yeah, exactly.
What about Purdy? What is he?
No, Purdy's a
Okay.
Toyota Camry that you
Okay.
actually do have
No,
money
it's
for. And
reliable. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. The
What about
Ferrari,
Jimmy? What about Jimmy G? Like I feel like it's like a Tesla. Like it does well, but then it could break down easily.
yeah, there you go. And the parts are expensive.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, I like
Exactly.
that.
There you
Better than
go.
my dating things. I don't know. I always go with dating analogies, but
There you go.
yeah, you know what, I'm gonna go with other. It's just like when you lose 3 starting quarterbacks and even 4 with Josh
4.
Johnson. Oh my, Josh Johnson. I'm very surprised that a veteran quarterback was that chaotic and like flustered, but whatever. And Josh Johnson, I know it's not the same for Josh Johnson. Like he keeps getting jobs because people like what he does. I don't know what it was, but he's a nice guy. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, let's go with other. I'm here to talk about Tom Brady. this is the right roster. And if you make the money work, and if Tom Brady is like he always wanted to take pay cuts, but now we don't know because of a certain family matter. But if it's a pay cut, oh, there you go. You got the lawyers ready and go. This roster stack, and also too because this could be a topic for later because you went all in for Christian McCaffrey. You're pretty much out of draft picks, Trey Lance too, and now it's kind of like it was supposed to be win or bust. But if you get that one, because this roster is so ready right now that I don't even think they care about the draft in 2023. Get Tom Brady, the final piece. And also he's from the area. Like he was so excited to come back home for like, which was weird to me, the first time ever in his career to play in the Bay Area, and then his freaking Buccaneers teammates laid a neg. So let's make it happen with Tom Brady.
Exactly. I mean, literally, that's all you need. Like, I don't understand this craziness of like you already tried it. You tried it this year. You had so many different quarterbacks. And now Brock Purdy's out for 6 months. 6 months
That's
puts
a
him
long
at
time.
basically training camp.
Yeah.
Or a little bit past training camp. So I just don't understand why I just don't see any other avenue but going to Tom Brady. If you really want to fill out this team, if you really want to be if you really want to put your team over the top, it's getting Tom Brady and finally winning that Super Bowl. You've tried with Colin Kaepernick, it didn't work out. You tried with Jimmy G, it didn't work out. Now you need to break that curse. I mean, I saw Cowboy fans over the weekend talking so much smack. They were like, hey, we won a Super Bowl before you guys do. Man, if Cowboy fans were talking to me like that, I'd be like, you know what? You know who I'm going to go get? I'm going to go get the hometown kid. Literally, this is all like, this is the 49ers. This is all they need, Gilbert. This is all they need. They just need that final stone.
Oh, can't
They
wait
just
for
need
that.
that final stone.
Credit to Marvel, whatever universe.
Oh, look at that.
What's with the music?
I don't know what that music was. But that's all they need. They just need that final stone to feel to get there. I don't know how you don't go after Tom Brady and bring him home. Let him end where he grew up. He grew up with a Joe Montana jersey.
I
His
would like to
parents
see it.
live there.
I would like that. And but also, how about any other options? Because like, do you just give a shot with Trey Lance because he is a first round pick that you spent so much capital on? I don't know.
No. I let him sit one more. Man, if he could learn from Tom Brady, that would be the best thing for him, I think. Remember, the guy didn't play college football. Like, he hasn't really played all that much football. The fact that they drafted him 3rd overall, to me, it made me question a lot about the game and about the way we evaluate talent and everything, because he didn't play college football. So, but for me, if I'm Tom Brady, it's either Miami or it's San Francisco. With San Francisco being number 1, Miami being number 2.
Miami's committed to Tua, supposedly. That's what they said.
Who?
Miami's committed to Tua. I know
Don't
what
know
you're
who
saying.
that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't know who that is. No, I know who that is. I'm just kidding.
But real quick, like if you get Tom Brady, that means you're gonna make Trey Lance wait to his 4th year to play.
Yes.
It's a long time.
Hey, we try to give you the kid. We try to fill up that gas tank.
He got
You
hurt
weren't
though.
ready. You were.
Yeah, he wasn't ready, but he didn't get a full season, and that's kind of the downside.
Wait, no, Fortsy.
Yeah, 2021, he was behind Jimmy G, remember? And then it gave him the roster.
But then there you're gonna figure out what would you okay, honestly, and this is the funniest part because I talked about it with Dan the other day. He's like, I'll take 1 Super Bowl and my franchise be crap for the rest of my life. I don't care. He's like, I'll take 1 Super Bowl. And I feel like that's what 49ers would do. I think 49er fans would take 1 Super Bowl to kind of get over that hump. And then whatever happens with Trey Lance after happens. But like, just get over that hump one more time, get 1 more Super Bowl, and then, okay, whatever happens with Trey Lance happens. But I think they need Tom Brady, and I really do think, man, you're already selling 97, whatever Christian McCaffrey's number is. You sell a lot of Deebo Samuel jerseys. Can you imagine that number 12? That thing is going to sell out and sell out quick. Yeah. So, I mean, they need.
Now we got to move on, but your scenario there, it's funny because I asked my buddy at Eddie at the bar because he's a big Patriots fan and he won whatever he saw Tom Brady win 5 or 6 Super Bowls, and now he doesn't care about football too much. And I'm like, man, so are you cool with like winning those 6 Super Bowls and then like not giving a f about how bad your team is for the next 20 years? He's like, hey, slow down. I'll go 10 bad years. It's worth it, but not 20. I'm like, man, 20 would be worth it for 6 Super Bowls, but whatever.
Oh my god, are you kidding? That's like me with like the like I grew up a huge Laker fan, a huge Kobe fan. And now to me, like basketball's not the same without like getting to watch him play.
But you saw 5 rings.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to see what Kobe was and the way he kind of revolutionized the game. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just different, but I completely agree with what you're saying. Gilbert, it's time for Compa of the Week. Who you got?
No, I think we have one more topic here, and it's involving Jalen Hurts. And
Oh, whoops, my bad. Obviously, my bad. We obviously we all argue about rookie contracts and paying superstar quarterbacks, but Hurts might be the perfect blend. Second round pick, doesn't command max money, and is good enough to win every season. Do you agree about that assessment about Hurts, or do you kind of or do you feel like he's at the level of Burrow and Herbert?
yeah, it's got me thinking too, because like he's also due for a payday, right? But we're not thinking about like the same way we think
Max
about
money.
Burrow and Herbert, like just breaking the bank. We don't think about that with Hurts, but like it's gonna be interesting what he's gonna want to command. Maybe he's the one that just signs first, like get out the way. I love it here. I'm not gonna mess around. And then I'm not even sure if he deserves the same money like Burrow and Herbert. Like this is one really good year, and Herbert we've seen very 3 good years, and Burrow obviously is Burrow. But it's kind of like the blend of what we're always like arguing about, like max money. But like you got to pay your guy to make him happy or whatever it is, and you can work around it, or you got to have a rookie contract. And just you just never know when you got like a Brock Purdy. Like, is he going to be good every year? With Jalen Hurts, I have a feeling he's going to be a consistent winner every year. Like I think he might be better than Dak Prescott eventually. I don't know, he's a pure passer like Dak, but he got the mobility, and I think Jalen could get there to be as good. And and maybe if Jalen's kind of like, you know what, I love it here, and he takes that kind of pay cut without actually having to need to take a pay cut, if that makes sense. This might be your guy right here. Like you have that great defense, you have great weapons, and everybody's happy. So, but credit to Jalen Hurts, man. I really respect the story. Being benched, by Tua, the guy you never heard of in
Yeah.
Alabama, having to go to Oklahoma, doing it there. He has CeeDee Lamb in Oklahoma, just makes it work. And then I've been seeing his videos because somebody asked him, hey, like, how does it feel to get here when the first coaching staff or the front office didn't really want you? Remember in the draft, it was like, where is he going to go? And we were all kind of shocked, like, oh, second round. There wasn't that long of a wait. But he said that he felt people didn't want him in that building. They didn't want. He wasn't their guy, so he had to earn it again. And I really like that story 3 times. That he just has that swagger about him. But I get it. He's not maybe right now. Maybe he does. I don't know in the future, but he's not in that level of Herbert and Mahomes, but he has that sweet spot there where maybe everybody's happy and this is good enough. I don't know, Fernando.
No, I completely agree with you. I'm definitely with you. Credit to Shane Steichen though, because he's taken Herbert now Hurts,
No.
and he's done
If he
really good.
leaves, what does that mean? That's going to be another part.
I don't. What do you think? Do you think? I don't think he's gonna leave. I think because of the Super Bowl that you'd have to wait another
Yeah,
2-3 weeks for him to basically take the job. And I wonder if teams are gonna want to wait that
that's
long.
true.
But is he deserving? I think so. I think he's one of those guys that they're not giving him the job because of he knows somebody or he's somebody like somebody hired him. He's really the guy that's really worked his way from the bottom all the way up, and he's done a great job. I think everywhere he's gone. But I agree with you. There's no need. There's no sense of me jumping in it because I agree with you. I think Jalen Hurts is he's a good quarterback. The only thing is he still has room to develop. He still needs to get better, and I'm interested to see what kind of contract he's going to command. All right, now it is time for Compa of the Week. Gilbert, who you got?
Yeah, I think my pick is Hassan Reddick. Am I pronouncing it right? Hopefully I am,
Yes,
because
sir.
he deserves the respect there to pronounce his name. And speaking of stories that I like, Hassan Reddick, man, this guy was all over the field. And I get maybe 49ers are not happy with him because he's the one that hit Brock Purdy, but it wasn't malicious. He had to do his job, right? Or was it? It
Yeah,
was Reddick,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he was just going for
Is
the ball.
he was from the Cardinals, right?
Yeah, and that's the story. Like I saw a tweet where he said, yeah, he was drafted first round by the Cardinals and never worked out. He had to go somewhere else, and now he's going back to Phoenix as a member of the Eagles to the Super Bowl. So that's just a cool story. And his name never comes up in the top 5 when you talk about outside linebackers, but this guy's been great for the Eagles, and I just want to give him a shout out because he was very impressive, and he's been throughout the whole playoffs. And then also too, remember that one year in Carolina, this guy betted on himself when nobody
Oh
wanted him
yeah,
after Arizona, and he even flashed there because I remember the Panthers played the Chargers that one weird game with the pitch back to Austin Eckler
yeah,
where
yeah,
they
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
convert it. He flashed in that game too, and then he got paid by the Eagles. So great story, and it kind of just tells you it takes you a couple of tries to get it going.
Yeah, no, completely. And maybe the first two teams isn't the right team. Maybe it's the next team. Gilbert, I give it to Marquez Valdez Scantling. So for all you people that think that I don't give Mahomes credit, they were down Juju Smith-Schuster, what Kadarius Toney. They were down a lot of players on offense.
Yeah.
And Marquez Valdez Scantling stepped up. He caught that touchdown pass towards the end of the game. He had 6 catches for 116 yards. He made some difficult throws. I have to give it up to him. He really played very well. Now, obviously, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of health all the Chiefs players will be heading into the Super Bowl. But that's obviously 2 weeks away.
I wonder if Aaron Rodgers was watching at home, thinking like, all of a sudden you're catching these balls.
Yeah, man. He used to. That guy could not. He could catch some good stuff, but it was always contested. It was the wide open stuff that this guy would drop. But definitely, I have to give it up to him. He's done a really good job. I think I saw he only had 1 catch against the Jags, 3 against the Raiders. He only had 42 catches for 687 yards this year and 2 touchdowns. But against the Bengals, he really showed out and he really he did a good job. So congrats to him. Another guy that obviously we want to congratulate because he's a home run hitter for Compas is Dan and Daygo. So let's go to him now and see what he's got cooking up.
What can I tell you? All we do is excellence on this program. We are A1. Everyone else is the 2s, and we're the 1. Let me tell you who else is the 1. Homage. Just look at this thing right here. You've already seen Dan and Daygo wear the awesome Justin Herbert, the awesome NFL Jam t-shirt. They have great t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, whatever you want. And don't worry, if you're only worried that they only do Charger things, they have it all. They got wrestling, all 32 teams. They got 90s reference. They have all pop culture stuff. Go out and check them out. And by the way, while you're checking them out, in the link in the description, go ahead and hit it. Treat yourself. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, pound the like button. I already said that to begin with, but that's all right. Let me remind you. Also, go out and check our social media. Your boys are on every single platform. On the Instagrams, at Compas on the Beat. What? On the TikToks, at Compas on the Beat. What? On the Twitter, at Compas OTB. What? We are everywhere. Do us a favor. Be a Compa, tell a Compa. Let's get back to the program.
Thank you to Dan and Daygo for that. Gilbert, it's time for Rapid Fire. Last year we got a rule change after the Bills' overtime loss to the Chiefs. Well, do you think we'll see something where the NFL allows teams to carry 3 quarterbacks after seeing what happened to the 49ers against the Eagles?
Yeah, like they create extra roster spots for linemen. Why not do it for quarterbacks? Like this is not the kicker position or long snapper where like you know obviously it's only one for them, but you need more. Like who's the backup to the backup? Like we saw with Josh Johnson, like who's gonna play? And I feel like especially in the playoffs, man, when the biggest games, like imagine being a 49ers fan and paying all that money to go to Philly and you're there watching Josh Johnson, or just being out. Like I was at the bar and I had to like go out and get dressed and spend money at the bar. I'm annoyed watching Josh Johnson. Think about me. So yeah,
don't think about Alonso. Think about you.
Yeah, think about Alonso. But yeah, definitely an extra roster spot would be nice. I'm taking up the time.
I'm annoyed because I've never understood, and they said it's to see who has a competitive edge. Ha ha ha. To me, that's dumb. Let all 53 men dress. Like I've never understood the reasoning for the 7 guys sitting. But I guess I would just do all 53, let them go. But they say it's a competitive edge and all this crap. I don't like it. I hope they change that rule. Gilbert, the Eagles earned the number 1 seed, but they just had. Do you think they just had an easy path to the Super Bowl? Obviously, they faced Danny Dimes in the divisional, and Brock Purdy tore his UCL on the Niners' first drive of the game.
I wouldn't call it the easiest. When you say it like that, it's Josh Johnson and Daniel Jones. And yeah, it sounds easy, but like they're supposed to play this very talented 49ers team, and it just things happen. It was bad luck. Compa of the week, Hassan Reddick got there and disrupted the quarter. That's what you're supposed to do. So I wouldn't say that, but it does when you look at it on paper. But also too, number 1 seed is important, and that's what you go and play for. That's why I don't want these neutral site games.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There's no way. Hell, if anything, the easiest one was the last one where they played the Falcons and then they played they blew out the Vikings, and then they went on to play Bill Belichick and the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and there they competed, and there was a tough game. This is the same thing. They two games where they blew the other team out. Now they're well, they didn't blow out the Falcons the first time. It took a weird crap to end, but here they're gonna face now Andy Reid and another tough head coach. I don't think it was easy. I think that, like you said, they busted their ass during the season and they earned that number one seed. And that's why you earn it now. Who didn't earn it was the Chiefs because bing, 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 bong had to happen and they got the first seed.
Yeah.
So definitely interesting how some things work for some people.
Yeah, that's why Zach
Gilbert,
Taylor said what he said.
exactly. Maybe. Who knows? The excuse is you didn't get the job done. That's all. That's all you can say. Who should be at fault for the blown call in the first quarter on Devontae Smith? Gilbert on that catch, no catch. Fox for not having a quick angle of the play for the 49ers a challenge, or Kyle Shanahan for not calling a timeout to give his staff time to make sure that it was a catch.
I'll go with Shanahan. Like, I know it's the first quarter. You're probably thinking it won't matter, and you still have Brock Purdy at the time, right? But you gotta call that time out. Give your booth people upstairs. Maybe does he even have a guy upstairs? We don't know. Give it a look, but it is early.
Brandon Staley does.
Yeah, people do. So you got to have somebody up there to tell you. But then again, if there's no replays, I don't know what you do.
I mean, to me, the refs don't even know what the hell a catch is and not catch is. So what the hell's the difference? I mean, to me, it's whatever's. I mean, calls like this happen. I've seen other plays where they call touchdown and you can totally tell, or it's a catch and you can tell it's not a catch. So I don't think anybody's at fault. I just think that obviously, and besides, you're playing in Philadelphia. Do you think Philly's gonna post the catch and be like, "Oh, hey, check out the catch"?
Yeah, that's
and
smart,
then Kyle Shanahan's gonna look up and be like, "Okay, yeah, I want to challenge
guys."
it." So yeah, exactly.
So happened in Tampa Bay with Rodgers, remember?
Exactly. So if they were in San Francisco, you bet your bottom dollar that thing would have been replayed and replayed and replayed and replayed. But you're in another stadium, so they're not going to do that. Gilbert, something or nothing? Time to play a little game of something or nothing. 49er fans messing with the Rocky statue before their game versus the Eagles.
It's a little tough for me because I like trash talk. I'm a boxing guy at UFC. You got to get some promo there. But sometimes, like in Spanish, te pasas. You cross the line. So it is something for me. 49ers messing with the Rocky statue. Come on, that's off limits, man. That's like going to the Golden Gate Bridge and hanging whatever. I don't know. What do they have in San Francisco?
An eagle flag?
Yeah, an eagle flag. It's a big, massive Eagles flag.
Yeah.
But yeah, come on. You're hitting with the whole Burrowhead. You're poking the bear here. And yeah, the Eagles really crushed them. And 49ers fans traveled and they spent money for that. And that's what happens.
I know people I know Rocky is obviously everybody calls it it's like not really but man, Philly loves Rocky. You don't mess with Rocky. And I think Sylvester Stallone even put out there, you don't mess with Rocky. Mr. T actually tweeted out something about that. He's like, give me Balboa. I don't care what the 49ers said. I want Balboa. I just started laughing. I'm like, dude, that's hilarious. But yeah, I agree with you. Don't mess with Rocky. I don't think it's anything. It's nothing. But don't mess with Rocky. That's what happens when you mess with Rocky. Gilbert, this one's funnier. The Empire State Building lighting up for Eagles colors. Something or nothing?
Oh, it's definitely something. And what the heck has happened to New York sports? And the people from New York are, and when I was growing up, it's always like LA against New York, West Coast, East Coast. And New York was such a prideful town, a great sports town. Yeah, the Knicks never won, but they were competitive. The Giants won 2 Super Bowls. Even the Jets were terrible. People still cared. The people from the Mets. And you're going to let this happen in New York City, the rival from the NFC East, Eagles. Unacceptable, atrocious. I felt sick for New York, and I know I'm a West Coast guy, LA all day, but I felt for New York.
I feel like ever since Emmanuel Morgan moved to New York has gotten soft. So no, I'm just kidding. Emmanuel, happy birthday. We love you. Compas love you. See you next week at Radio Row. Man, we've met so many incredible people on this journey. Well, whatever. That's nostalgia for later. My bad. Obviously, I think it is something, man. You don't flash the team colors, and then at night they were like, "Hey, we're flashing it for Kansas City now." Sure. I just thought it was dumb. Why would you do that in your own city? Like, then you had a fight started by Kayvon Thibodeau and Joe Staley, and then even Lawrence Tyne got into it like he's like, you're a kicker.
You know what
So
this tells
it
me?
was all bad.
You know what this tells me for the Empire State Building? I feel like there's like a social media team out there, like, oh, it'd be a great idea. We get the 2 winning teams, and they don't watch
Light it
any
up.
football. Like, they don't care about sports or anything. Like, hey, we could go viral with this, and they did, but for the wrong reasons.
Wrong reasons. It was a viral disease that made it all go bad. Gilbert, something or nothing. Joey Bosa wearing 49ers gear in support of his brother and getting into it with Philly fans outside the stadium.
No, it's nothing. I mean the whole wearing the 49ers gear because Jason Kelsey does it for his brother, Travis Kelsey. They're brothers. Who the hell cares? And I get they're football players, and you're like, oh, don't go to that team. They're brothers. It's family comes first always. But I have a little issue, but maybe not so much because it's an Eagles fan, and Eagles are known to being rowdy. But sometimes, again, se pasan. And I'm sure Joey Bosa was there just to enjoy a game with his brother. And these guys are coming down with the phone. You come at them, then that's what happens. You get the Joey Bosa rage because we know how it is with Big Bear.
No, I think it's absolutely nothing. I just think it's two people having kind of like Joey was not going to let him talk crap about it. But wearing the 49er gear, get out of here. Whoever has a problem with it, go cry to your mama because that's nothing to me. That's a brother supporting another brother. You saw last week how he got when Nick saw Joey before the game, he got excited. He was happy to see his brother. But the chirping back at I'm rich, I can pay my fines and all that. That was beautiful by Joey. I actually thought it was hilarious. So I don't think it's anything. I just thought it was good banter by back and forth. But if you're a Philly fan, why are you going at? You know how he is. Why are you going at him?
Yeah. Remember, Fernando, he is our good guy of 2021. So
exactly,
he has a nice side.
I still remember when he goes, what is that? You're the good guy. Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you. Some people would think I'm a bad guy. And then he started ranting off, and then Jamal's like, hey, okay, let's go. But definitely awesome. Or obviously interesting to see that. Gilbert, fair or foul? Fans are going after Bengals Joseph Osai for Jermaine Pratt, for the reaction of Jermaine Pratt, and then obviously BJ Hill defended him. Do you think it's fair or foul that they're going after him?
It's definitely foul. At some point, like, yeah, you're upset, you're angry, but at some point you gotta figure out it's just a freaking game. Move on. It's not that serious. This guy is a young guy, 22 years old. What thing was kind of weird to me is like, BJ Hill standing next to him and he's kind of crying. I get you're going through a lot of emotions, but like stand up by yourself, just answer the questions. I appreciate that. But the fans going after him and sending mean messages and stuff like that. The one teammate, I forget his name, Jermaine Pratt, saying like, "Oh, you don't push the quarterback, don't touch the quarterback." That's a little too much. Know where the cameras are, but I guess everybody's emotional. But always defend your teammate, especially the ones that are working hard. But maybe there's one that's dumb out there, and you're like, okay, that guy's just ruined it for us. Maybe, but they're in the trenches with you in the battle to support them.
I mean, it showed leadership by Hill being there for him, but at the same time, you did what you did. Now you have to attend to the consequences. Especially that quarterback. That flag is going to come out. All that stuff. Like even if there's no way. They were already ready to go. So I wouldn't have touched them. But hey, I mean, to each their own, I guess.
Yeah, it would have been an overtime game. He never touched them, but.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's funny because Mahomes even did a little flop to add insult to injury. But it's like, dude, okay, you were already gonna get the flag called on you. And by the way, his wife tweeted out, and I was like, oh god. She goes, can't do it on 3, and she had a peace sign. So I'm like,
all right, you're not part of the team. Stop.
What position did you play? And I bet you she's one of those people that says we're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, all right. Enough of that, Gilbert. You're just gonna frustrate me.
Sorry.
Obviously, now it is time to bring in Vic.
I want to clap.
That's always like his music. Mick Foley's music was always like amazing to see. Vic, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, bringing me on. I'm excited for this week.
You had to wait a whole hour for us. Sorry.
I know. Yeah, no, you guys.
And I actually thought like we would, but I mean, obviously, we always have things to talk about, I guess. But let's see.
Let's go. I always get so fired up when I hear that thing. I just want to flip you the bird, Gilberto. That's how amped up I get. I want to I want to just do all the Stone Cold things.
I was gonna say this might be the first time you come on the show and not attack me, but there it is.
No, it wasn't an attack. It wasn't an
There's
attack.
a-
It was mild. It was mild.
Do you
It
think
was
fans
more
have
like,
like a
you know, it's in the moment. You hear
Yeah,
the Stone
okay.
Cold. What's the first thing you want to do? Drink a
Do you
beer and flip somebody off. Like you
There
were
you
just
go.
Do you
naturally.
think fans have like a Compas bingo card? Like they know I'm going to say Pat McAfee. They know Dan is going to go after Gilbert. They know Gilbert can interrupt Dan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
I bet you fans have a bingo card, but you know what? I'm going to have to do this, and I'll start it off like this. Dan, what was your biggest takeaway from the weekend?
No, my biggest takeaway is this, right? It is seriously just a thing of beauty. And before Gilberto gets excited, I'm not talking about his beloved Chiefs and his Mahomie. I'm talking about, I don't think John Lynch, remind me of the GM
Howie
of
Roseman.
Howie Roseman. I seriously don't think they get enough credit. You know, John Lynch went to the Super Bowl not too long ago, and you saw the difference with the Falcons. They tanked right away after visiting the Super Bowl, and that happens to a lot of teams. And you know, for him to keep them so relevant and everything else, making the right moves. They might have missed with Trey Lance and everything else, but you know me, I'm not a huge skills guy type of person. But they both build it the same way, intelligently. You fill out the 5 offensive linemen up front, and you dominate with the front 7. That's how you win football games. And that's how I think the Eagles will continue to win football games, including the Super Bowl. They have Jason Kelsey as the field general up front, and they are going to manhandle and be nasty. And that's the way you have to build teams. I'm sorry, Gilberto. All your little computers and your doodads and your it doesn't matter. Whoever's will is stronger in the trenches will determine the game. We saw that on Saturday with your beloved Chiefs, whatever it is, what it is.
And that's where Andy Reid deserves, and that's where they deserve credit. The Chiefs do, because they went out and they got Patrick Mahomes, one of the best offensive lines. They got him Tooney from the Patriots. They drafted Creed Humphrey. They traded for Orlando Brown.
He was a late guy too. I think that guy was late as a rookie.
Yeah.
Dan, I was trying my hardest not to interrupt you because I do that a lot. So hopefully you're proud of me. But I disagree with the John Lynch love. When's the last time they won the Super Bowl? You're okay with just being relevant? You're just okay with that?
Trying to, you know
this
what?
Doesn't sound like you, man. This
is why this man appears a scumbag. I literally said before we came on what my burial is, and here he goes trying to get me to do it.
Okay. You're the scapegoat.
You want me to bury someone? All right, I'll bury someone. Brittany Mahomes, deactivate your Twitter. Jackson Mahomes, get off your TikTok.
I'm not going.
That's why half the country's rooting for the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
But at some point, you got to win it all, Dan, and you can't just.
You're jumping the gun, my guy. Quit doing it.
They will mention when they get Tom Brady.
You're trying to take my points.
Yeah, but I think it's a little early flowers for John Lynch. Harry Roseman, sure. Andy Reid.
Well, let me understand this. Let me understand this correctly. You pee your pants because Mahomes made it to the AFC Championship 5 times in a row.
You won a Super Bowl.
Okay, they went to the Super Bowl. That's good enough for you. Going to the Super Bowl, they went to a Super Bowl.
You're just counting your own point right here.
No, I'm not. They're staying relevant. They're getting into the playoffs every year.
The Chiefs are more relevant than the 49ers. That kind of debunks your whole point.
Who's talking about the Chiefs? I know it's hard for you. I know it's hard to fight yourself. Tony Romo Jr., Chris Collinsworth Sr.
I don't know.
Chill.
All right. Harry Roseman, flowers, go ahead. But John Lynch, a little premature. That's it.
Well, I think what he's saying is that he's built this team out since he got there, and they've stayed consistent throughout the time.
But that's not the Dan thing. Dan thing was all about winning the whole thing. And you guys have been beating up the Chiefs because they don't win it every year. And the 49ers don't win it once. I don't get it.
So we're not going to give him credit at all. So I'm confused because you always say it's good enough to get there.
I'm just saying what you guys say, and now you guys you're not being consistent. That's all I got to say.
What are you talking about? He's
going based off of your standards. Like basically, if you don't win it, you don't deserve any credit. Is what you've said before in the past. With
Victor, agree or disagree? Because you can't just be in the dance taking up a space.
I'm sorry. No, I was just gonna say that he actually has a point with all 4 teams. Actually, if you really break it down, they've all been built through the offensive line and defensive line. Look at all 4 of them. With Joe Burrow, 4 of them were 3 of his offensive linemen were hurt, but they went out and paid. They went and paid for Hendrickson, Hubbard on the defensive line, DJ ready, and then in the offensive line, they went out and got him 3 offensive linemen to fix his line before you have to pay Joe Burrow. Same thing with the Chiefs. I mean,
I'm
look
not
at their.
disagreeing with that, but it's like at some point you got to win it all, right?
No
Oh
one
yeah,
is
I mean, but
no
not
one's
everybody can win it
disagreeing.
every year.
Man,
I
you
mean,
guys are
but
really
if
changing
you're
the
getting
rules for
there,
different teams.
What are you
no,
talking
but
about?
in terms of, I'll finish with this. In terms of the Chiefs, you're getting there every year. You're getting to host. This is the 5th straight time that the Chiefs have hosted, and they've
That's
only
true.
had one Super Bowl. I want to see Mahomes go on the road and do this. You know, like
Well,
go on the road and show. Look, the bar keeps getting set higher because of Tom Brady. That's not on us. We didn't set the bar for Patrick Mahomes. Blame Tom Brady for that. And this is not about hating on Patrick Mahomes. We're talking about the bar being raised by Tom Brady, and this is the bar that. And everybody can say, "Well, he's the exception." No, this is the new bar. First, it was Joe Montana. Then Tom Brady said, "I'm going to take it to the next level." Now now the bar is Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes.
So you're saying that, but you expect more from Mahomes, and the 49ers have a different criteria because they're not on that level. Is that what I'm hearing?
well,
Yes,
they don't have
exactly.
a they don't have a
All right.
quarterback like
I can
that.
take that. I can
Bro,
take that.
they've been on a quarterback carousel since he got there. What are you even talking about? It's
So
not
you're,
the same
so you're
situation.
saying the rules are different for every team, right? Is that what we're saying?
What I think
Every-
what he's saying, I think what okay, this is what I'm interpreting. The thing is that we obviously everybody talks people don't talk about the Chiefs as a whole. People talk about the Chiefs as in one player, and that's like what was everybody saying over the weekend? Patrick Mahomes
Exactly.
led this team when Steve Spagnuolo deserved credit. The defense played their asses off.
Andy Reid.
And Daniel's talking about John Lynch deserves credit because of the team that he's built around. So I think, I guess the way we're looking at it is different.
It's kind of we're giving a pat on the back for always being here, and that doesn't sound like Dan Daygo. That's all I have to say.
I'm so confused right now.
But
I
then,
don't
like,
get how
you
you're
always tell me.
confused.
the
So
Chargers lose
it's cool to say,
27 to
oh,
0.
Mahomes
But
is
that's not
better
what he-
because he's been to 2 Super Bowls.
So you're
only
saying
one
you
else.
expect a lot more from the Chiefs because they're on a different level, and you got to do better than that level.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
what
49ers
he's
are
saying.
down
They
here.
have Andy
Yeah.
Reid. How many
Yeah,
more
yeah,
times
that's what
have
he.
we
Okay,
seen this on this
that's what he's saying.
program?
He's just getting frustrated. But yes, that's what he's saying.
Okay.
They're stuck
So
with
49ers are
Kyle
down here
Shanahan.
in your standards, and the
Like
Chiefs are up here.
Daniel's saying, here's Andy Reid, here's Patrick Mahomes, here's Kyle Shanahan, here's whatever quarterback they have. So obviously,
All right. Do you
they're
agree with
nowhere
that,
near.
Dan? As long as he says it, then we move on.
No, that's what he means.
He
That's
won't
what he
say
means.
it though.
No, but I'm
You
Daniel.
don't even want to give
I know.
credit.
All right.
for a
No,
He
guy
doesn't
who
want
doesn't-
to. He does not want to say the Chiefs are on a superior level that he expects better because they're superior, but he won't say it.
You're not going to give credit to a guy who built a team
All right.
that could
That's
take
not what I'm
them to
saying. I just
relevance
want to understand
That's
your
what he's
rules.
saying.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Fine.
No,
Let's
you
move on.
started this, guy.
No,
Don't act
no,
like me and
no.
I. You're the one who
No.
tried to poke the bear.
No. Okay,
Whatever.
Vic, what was your
Participation
takeaway?
trophy is handed out. We got it.
All of a sudden, you don't like those. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on anymore.
I'm confused too. We're
I think
switching
both of you guys
places.
are attacking your own
I know
standards for
exactly.
people, and you guys are confusing yourselves.
Yeah, we've got
All
10
of a
minutes
sudden,
here.
all of a sudden, I can't say my own damn takeaway. Okay, that's how it's going today.
You
Oh,
did.
I'm
I just
fired up.
gave you my disagreement. That's
This
it.
went
I'm
from
fired
not
up.
interrupting each other
I'm
to
fired
now
up.
having a debate and trying to figure out what
I'm
the
so
topic
fired
was.
up.
Now mine is pretty much last year we got great games in the on NFL Sunday, and the story for this Sunday has been something else. It hasn't even been the games, and I get it. Like the Brock Purdy injury hurt things for the first game, and so we had other things to talk about. But Fox dropping the ball there with first getting the pun kicked into one of the wires there was a bad thing, and then not getting the angle fast enough for that Devontae Smith catch was also another thing. The officiating, like everybody I've heard the last 2 days after the games and then today has been about the officiating. And I get it. The NFL is going to make money no matter what. But do you want people talking about other things rather than the games that happen? Like, hey, look at that throw that Mahomes made, or look at how great Jalen Hurts looked, or that defense on Sound Reddick. It hasn't been about that. It's been about other things. And I'll leave it with this: they should not make announcements for like what happened with Kellen Moore parting ways with the Cowboys. Like the Cowboys were able to just like supersede whatever attention the Philadelphia Eagles had because they put this announcement out. So there should be a moratorium on those days, like especially the Super Bowl, and then on AFC and NFC championship game where you can't announce anything. And I know you guys have talked about this before with the Chargers announcing stuff. Like when these games are going on, there shouldn't be an announcement or even the whole day. So that I'll leave it with that.
Honestly, Vic, I did not even know they parted ways. I'm like, Kellen Moore, when did he leave the Cowboys? Because I was busy with the games.
Exactly.
Careful, Vic, he might
They
have
announced it
left
like
you too. Who
they
knows?
announced it like halfway through the Bronx or the Eagles.
I had no idea.
Yeah, at halftime, Jay Glazier mentioned it, and I was like, "Oh wow!" And then that's when Rap Sheet tweeted out that the Chargers had requested to speak to him.
That.
And I was like, okay, Kellen Moore. And then parting ways happened. Around 2:00, and this morning at 7 in the morning or at 8 in the morning, he was already hired.
Real quick, it was kind of a boring championship weekend because the games were kind of whatever, even the AFC title game. So yeah, the referees, because I know Dan Day was up all night checking Twitter for bad calls, and he got a good amount.
Hey, the NFL hashtag the NFL's rigged was trending for I think it had over 170,000 tweets.
I know who started it.
No, it's hard for you to talk about because they're your boys, but I get it.
No, but okay. Obviously, it's now time for burial of the week, and because you two were going at it and everything, there's no music.
I'm about to bury this scumbag.
No music? What the?
No music today.
Wear the shirt and no music. All right.
All right. I'll give you a little bit of music.
What you did, Dan? Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, me. Yeah. That's what I did. That's what I do, apparently.
Oh, Mr. John Lynch, you get a trophy and a sticker.
This is unbelievable. The same guy who said, you have to give credit. Mahomes has been to 5 AFC championships.
Hey, we're trading places like the movie. There you go.
All right. Unbelievable.
Gilbert, who are you burying?
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
Who am I burying, huh? Actually, I forgot. Who am I?
Right there. It's on the
there it is. Okay. Oh, yeah. I kind of talked about it, but yeah, Mayor of Cincinnati, shut up and know your role. Like you're not part of the team. And why is every mayor feel they need to be involved? Like they're always making these side bets. Like I know it's publicity or whatever, but at some point you're annoying. Nobody knows your name. I don't even know your name, Mayor of Cincinnati. And to be just shut down like by Travis Kelce, who went to Cincinnati, by the way, so he likes the city. But yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, but you don't need to get like the players talking crap. Cool, I'm all for that. But just know when you poke the bear, you get the consequences. The mayor, nobody needs you, Mayor. You're adding more fuel. Maybe they don't even care about the players talking, but the mayor.
What did he say?
He called it Burrowhead too, and so now he's getting buried by me. And Mayor, shut your mouth and know your role.
Is he worse? Is he worse than the mayor of Jaws?
Sure.
The worst mayor was the one in Carson, the one that wore that Charger and Raider jersey a couple of years ago. That guy has to be the worst.
The one in Vegas, by the way, she was interesting.
Oh, Vic, what was your burial?
Mine has to do with the number one seed continuing to use the word disrespect. Like I get that, the Chiefs were, the Bengals had beaten the Chiefs 3 times, and so they had a right to trash talk. Like I don't see the whole disrespecting coming from you were the number one seed. Like you've been the number one team now for 5 years. You've been able to host the AFC championship game, and then turning over to the Eagles. Man, I love the Eagles fans, but like the whole disrespecting, like you've been able to dominate every team you face except for the Commanders this year. And so like for you to say that you were disrespected after the fact that you beat down the 49ers because they lost their quarterback, people are just pointing out facts. Like, look, you had an easy schedule, yeah, but you earned that number one seed. Both teams, I don't know about the Chiefs, I know we've talked about it, but in terms of the Eagles, they've earned everything. I just don't want to hear that you were disrespected because you've been able to beat down some of these teams. And so I'm just like, come on, let's not.
Yeah, that's why I was so concerned that the Chiefs were so like, oh, they called this Burrowhead and I'm like, really? Like, you guys are gonna get that fired up?
You're giving them more ammo. Same thing with 49ers fans doing it with the Rocky statue.
I guess they need it. No, but the Eagles didn't sound like as I thought the Chiefs kind of went over the top because Mahomes kept, we're gonna smoke a cigar, and I'm like, okay,
He's an
dude,
idiot.
like I guess
He has no
like,
idea. He's an idiot.
it felt like every player was like Frank Clark did it, Chris Jones did it, and I'm like, okay, like I get it, but I don't know. I just thought it was a little.
I get why the Eagles do it. That's their whole mentality, though. That Philly
they're a
mentality.
Well, because remember, and that one I get.
Sirianni
Sirianni was looked at as a clown last year. Remember in his opening press conference, everybody thought, "Oh, this guy's a clown," and all of a sudden he has them in the Super Bowl now. So everybody thought Shane Steichen, like, what the hell is that guy gonna do?
They traded Tyreek Hill. Nobody had them here. Some people.
Here he goes. Here he goes. He's got to bring him back in it.
And real quick,
bring him back in it.
I'm starting to wonder: are the Chiefs starting to get kind of like boring, like the Patriots at one point, like every single year, or is that what we're getting here? I don't know.
Respect it.
Not with all you guys on social media. Oh my god, what a great throw by Patrick Mahomes! Like
it was a great throw. What are you talking about? Okay, a question without just being sincere: are we getting Chiefs fatigue? Is that what it is? I don't know.
I think that's what it is.
I don't really care.
You know what?
I don't really care because I'm interested to see what's gonna. The Super Bowl still hasn't been written, so I'm really interested because
it's a great matchup.
Play on words, yeah.
It hasn't been written.
I was just gonna say,
that's from Doc Brown and Back to the Future. The future hasn't been written. No one has. So make it the best of it. The both of you.
My thing is this. Is like, I respected the Patriots' success, the fact that they were in it every year. They weren't in my division, so it was whatever. It's like, I totally get it. But it's like, now that they're in my division, obviously it makes me very angry at a certain team because we still can't figure it out. And the other thing is, we play these guys 2 times a year. Then on top of that, the worst part is I don't think the media carried the Patriots water like they do Mahomes and the Chiefs. If Mahomes farts, they're going to say, oh, my God, that was the best fart I've ever smelled and everything else. It's unbelievable to me. I can't stand that.
And really got a lot of love, too. Come on.
And that takes me into my burial. Tony Romo, holy crap. He has been terrible. He is the worst. This is Mahomes is having an MJ flu game.
Yeah,
I was like, now we're comparing him to MJ. Like, dude, Mahomes already lost one and he got blown out. MJ never got blown out. MJ never lost one. I'm like, he was making so many basketball references. I'm like, okay, dude, basketball. Like, that's so great for you. Like, he's just been so bad.
Remember when Clyde Drexler was saying the best basketball player? That really motivated Michael Jordan.
I'm like, who cares? I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, nobody cares that basketball. Like, he's just been so bad. It hasn't been the same. Like, he really needs to go to finishing school or something. Like, he needs to reset the whole thing because he's been so bad this year. And I saw him trending on Twitter, and some people think that he was about to say the N-word on a play. And, it's really bad. And then Mike Freeman kind of was like, I saw that Tony Romo video, and he put that emoji like this. So I mean, it's a little weird with Tony. I think Tony Romo shows up drunk to some of these things. Like,
he was good his first couple years because he was teaching you the game and he saw things coming.
Now it got to his head. And
now it's like now all he lives off of is like enthusiasm, energy. Like that's all he brings. Energy. But what the hell am I learning from you? Like at least with Greg Olsen, I'm learning.
That's why from what the hell do you? Here's a guy who does X. Like. You don't learn anything from these guys. That's why a lot of guys have it. A lot of people mute their TVs because they're like, these guys are terrible announcers. I wish there was a system though where we could just hear the crowd noise from the game and not have to listen to the announcers because some of them are like even
no, you can't hear the crowd noise, dummy.
The only ones that are good are the Fox ones. Now, like literally, everybody thought the worst team is literally the best team. Fox. Yeah. Fox has
the ones are boring. I've seen them all like for years, and the Fox thing is the downside. They don't have energy. That's the thing. You gotta have some Dan Daygo energy, but at least you're learning. It's sophisticated. Said that word properly. Class, nice little broadcast, but it's just you need more energy. That's it.
I know. We're still gonna be a while, but that's why I'm interested in when Tom Brady comes in. How he's gonna be because Tom's not really an energy kind of guy. Let's go. But I think you're going to learn a lot from a guy like Tom Brady. So I'm really interested to see what he does. But last but not least, Dan, who are you burying?
This was my thing, which a certain scumbag already ruined. So we touched on it. My thing is Kyle Shanahan. Like, I understand totally what happened this year, But in my mind, I think he's been to a few NFC championships like consecutively in his tenure. There's no reason why he shouldn't have a Super Bowl by now. I thought they were the better team when they played the Chiefs, but it is what it is. Andy Reid got his one. I'm cool with it. I like Andy Reid. But, is my question to you guys is like, do you guys think Kyle Shanahan is going to be able to get him over that hump? Despite Gilberto's antics earlier to try and derail me, I still think John Lynch has built a very good team. Unfortunately, he can't play safety for these guys like he used to. He can't call plays either. So I don't know what more you want from the guy. He's built a very good team. But
Real quick,
here we go.
It's a counter. Kyle Shanahan wanted a different quarterback, by the way, and he somehow got convinced into Trey Lance. I don't know who convinced him, but that's what I'm saying.
You want Mac Jones?
Fine.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's not really helping his case. But
it's same crap.
Here's my take. Don't panic for quarterback. I don't know how many more times I have to say it on this program. And my other homeboy over there taking my points. He's a fan. That's all right. But that's my thing. Kyle Shanahan, I would love for the 49er fans, if anyone is listening, do you think Kyle Shanahan will win you a Super Bowl one day? Because I think that's been the biggest problem. I've said it when he got hired. He choked in Atlanta. I don't know how well he's going to do. Mind you, I understand he's consistent, and that's hard to find today in the NFL with head coaching. So I totally understand that. But it's like, do you think seriously this guy's going to be able to get you over that hump? For me, I felt like he's choked in a lot of big games. And it's like, maybe it's like an Andy Reid thing. Maybe he'll get it eventually and get over the hump. But, I understand the whole Sean Payton thing's probably a reach and who else is out there. But the Shanahan thing to me is just a big question mark. So I have no idea how he's going to give him over that hump. I think there's something about him that he just chokes these games away in the final minutes. And, obviously, besides for everyone listening, I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about years past. I get it. You were down to literally a wildcat quarterback. So that's my thing. I don't know if Kyle Shanahan's the guy to get him over the hump. So I don't know what they're going to do up there in San Francisco. I don't even know. You guys think Tom Brady would be enough to get him over the hump with Kyle Shanahan?
Well, that's the question. Like, if you try to move on from Kyle Shanahan, there's not really an upgrade out there unless it's Sean Payton.
You get Tom Brady, you're getting Gronk. You have George Kittle, you have Gronk.
I don't know about that. You think Gronk's going to come out of retirement? Why don't we
Gronk
just bring him?
Gronk called him halfway through the season and said, I'm bored. I'm thinking about coming back. But Tampa Bay's like, okay, we need an answer now. I'll call you guys back. And Tampa Bay's like, okay, we're not taking him. But there's rumors that supposedly Gronk would be down to come back. Can you imagine George Kittle and Gronk on the same team?
So he's the new Brett Favre?
He basically is. I mean, the guy's just going anywhere, playing wherever he wants. But I don't know. I don't know, Gilbert, what you think, but yeah, Shanahan just for some reason he just has that kind of choke artist kind of label on him, and it's going to be hard to get it off him without a good quarterback that can win you football games.
It's tough because they're always here, like this far. But
Yeah,
then
exactly.
like this year, you don't have that memory because of what happened with Brock Purdy. Like you had it last year with the Rams losing a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, losing 10-point lead against the Chiefs. What happened with the Falcons? So there is a history there, but I just wonder, like, if everybody was healthy and the game was close, what would have happened? We just don't know. But a good question.
Vic?
No, I was just gonna say, like, as soon as people were talking about his job last year, and then he turned it around. He's done it two years in a row where he figures it out, and then he gets the team into the playoffs. The thing is if you fire him or you let him go, someone else is going to pick him up. It's going to be the same thing that happened with Andy Reid. Like, either, he has to, as you guys talked about for the engagement question to start the show, like, the 49ers are set up, like, as Dan and Daygo pointed out, they're set up. Like, you can come back. All you have to figure out is your quarterback. If you figure out your quarterback, then they're going to be in this position next season. And I don't see, they're well built. They have all the players you need. I don't know where their weakness is at. If you bring back everybody, and if Tom Brady decides, you know what, I'll come there, just pay me like $5 million, and then because the whole team is all set up. Like, if you're Tom Brady, what else do you need? You already have all the money. All you're looking for is more legacy. Like, you're just.
It won't be $5 million. I'll guarantee that. It was something higher.
I'll say he'd say 15 to 20.
That sounds more right.
Because
especially with a loaded team like that,
some kind of part ownership. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
the other thing I've been like. You can also defer his money. You can, so there's ways to kind of work with the cap. So if
The only
he
thing that's gonna suck for him is he's not gonna be able to do that commute to New York to go watch his son play football games. But hey, sacrifice that for a year to try
Hey,
and well,
all of the kids are looking at schools in Miami, and people
no. This is the kid that he has with Bridget.
Yeah, Nelson or something like
Yeah,
that. Moyen
so,
or something.
his ex.
Right.
So she lives in New York, and so Tom goes up to the games, and then the kid comes back with Tom.
That's right.
on
That's
the
why he
weekend.
chose the East Coast
Yeah.
last time. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Bridget comes down with them. They stay for the games, and then I think they fly private back to New York.
Remember when Tom Brady? Remember when the Chargers were runner up to getting Tom Brady? That was a funny.
You
Thing.
son of a bitch.
Okay, real quick. How
You
much
are
What
runner
are we talking about?
how
you
much
are
runner
just
up do you think they were? Like, do you really think they were the second team?
Well, Brady was pissed off because like nobody's really showing interest. Like I think they were the only ones that really showed real interest, but he didn't want to go there. Like remember he's like, oh, I can't believe they picked that mother effer and that whatever. Like there was other teams he wanted to get into the race, and,
Yeah.
and he was coming off that bad season where they got beat up by the
Yeah.
tight ends and he was
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
down. But it
Yeah,
felt like the Chargers showed real interest and he didn't want to go there.
The problem was too, if you would have fired Anthony Lynn and you would have started off brand new and fired Telesco and started off with a new coaching staff and maybe somebody who he would have wanted, maybe he would have done it. Like bring in somebody who is well known in the NFL, somebody who can like a Bruce Arians or somebody like that to that extent. I'm sure he would have done it, but you can tell head coach was a problem for him, and obviously he wanted something else.
All I'll
But
say is if they go the Tom Brady route, you guys don't. I mean, you guys, the Chargers don't have Justin Herbert. So
Yeah,
but
they would have had Tristan Wirfs.
supposedly they would have still drafted a quarterback, but we
They
don't know
they
history.
could have had
I
a
don't
Super
know.
Bowl. Who knows? It doesn't matter now.
All right,
Yeah,
now it's time for una más, and obviously you guys are gonna stay here with us. Gilbert, have you what have you watched? Anything new that you've watched or checked out lately?
Yeah, so yesterday after the championship game, it's off season. I got more time now to watch stuff, and there wasn't really anything that came to mind because yes, I know Victor, you like watching The Last of Us, but I am already committed to watching that with Caroline, and we weren't together yesterday, so I had to wait. So
okay.
I had to find something else to watch, and I went through Netflix. There's nothing I wanted to watch, but so then I stumbled into Amazon Prime, and I kind of hate myself, but I watched The House of Gucci. Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, and maybe Dan they will kind of like this, but maybe not so much because it's fashion, but it's history and it's real deal what happened. It was a lot of drama, kind of also crime too.
yeah.
But there was a lot of drama, but I was really surprised how poorly they portrayed the drama, and it was so boring until the ending. And then the ending got good because then I started doing research because oh damn, all that really happened. That's a good sign of a good movie. But I had to wait 2 hours or something, so I'll go bad just because it's a true story, but they managed to f it up. House of Gucci, if you care about like crime and family, and it's kind of like Succession too, because it's funny because I learned a lot about Gucci. I didn't know anything about Gucci, but apparently nobody who's from the family Gucci is part they don't own any of the company anymore. And then Tom Ford, the guy from Texas, kind of reinvented it. So yeah, I learned history. House of Gucci with Lady Gaga, Adam Driver. It's definitely a bad movie, but not rotten.
Vic.
For me, I'm gonna talk about. I'm not gonna spoil anything about The Last of Us. I'm just gonna talk about a character that was in The Last of Us and the actor who played it, and that is Nick Offerman. If you know Nick Offerman, he's Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec, and for this role, they pretty much kind of picked Ron Swanson. If like that's who is that character in terms of in The Last of Us. And so I just wanted to give Nick Offerman just his flowers for playing this character. I mean, it, the episode was probably one of the saddest things I've ever seen, and yet it was like really, really good. Like they made it about these two new characters, and it was kind of like Game of Thrones without me spoiling it. You'll figure out the reference once you see that episode, but it just like I've seen Nick Offerman do a bunch of stuff besides Parks and Rec. I've seen him in other things, and this was the first time where I got to see him not be Ron Swanson and just be that actor. And his acting in this episode was just outstanding, and so I just want to give him a shout out for that.
Dan.
You know, I haven't seen anything. I've just been listening to podcasts, but here's a movie I was talking about the other day with brother Mauricio. Shout out at school. We were talking about it. The Right. If you like horror movies, you should watch The Right with Anthony Hopkins. That film is a masterpiece, and it is almost like a
What's a master,
documentary.
please?
Yeah. Okay. I heard your slip ups earlier. Now here we go. Everyone's pile on Dan and Daygo, but that's all right. I don't care. I'm made of Teflon. I don't care what these sheep have to tell me. But anyway, it's a masterpiece. It's like a documentary about an exorcism. It's really interesting. If you watch just Anthony Hopkins in this film, it's absolutely terrifying. He's such a good actor. I don't think he gets enough credit. So there you go. Go watch The Right if you like some horror.
Better than Hannibal Lecter?
I liked it better. Yeah, I liked it better.
Oh, wow. That's how do you
Can I recommend one thing before I know we're moving on to Fernando, but Knock at the Cabin is coming out next weekend, and that's the one where Dave Bautista is. It's a M. Shaw movie. I'm planning to go see that, so I'll
see the promos.
Yeah.
Oh, and but speaking of Dave Bautista, now you got me into what I wanted to talk about. The Glass Onion was terrible, or whatever the hell that movie's called.
Oh yeah,
you already watched it?
I forgot about that.
You haven't seen it until
I hadn't watched it. Dan and I watched it. I fell asleep. Twice during it. Dave Bautista, like the whole concept of me, the movie was terrible compared to the first one. The first one was so good. This one was dumb. I didn't like the concepts. Like it was pretty predictable. I just thought it was kind of stupid. Like I was just like, oh god. And then like people were like, oh, Dave Bautista's such a good actor, and I watch him in this movie, and I'm like, it doesn't give me anything to make me think that he's a good actor. So I just overall, I thought the movie, it's a rotten tomato. Like this was
avocado.
Avocado. It was a shit show. Like I was not interested in the movie at all. Like it was
bad.
It was bad.
You're usually a more positive reviewer, but damn.
Yeah, but this movie was just terrible. And you know what's funny? I actually like what's his name as LeBlanc. So but in this, even his acting was to me a little bit weird. And then like, I'm sorry, but why are you wearing masks? Like the movie is set now and a couple of years later, like why are you wearing masks? Like it
tells you it takes place May right after COVID.
Well, yeah, but it's a movie. Come on,
you're still triggered by it.
No, I wasn't triggered. It was just I just didn't understand like the whole thing. I was like,
don't worry, Fernando. Talk about Mahomes. He'll get triggered right now, and we'll go back into a whole thing.
I just thought it was a stupid movie.
Whatever, master, please.
The whole movie was just dumb, but
that's why when I gave my review, I'm like, it was kind of whack, and you're like, what? And then I'm like, I've never seen the first one, and that's why I thought it was whack. But here,
but now that you watch the first one, I bet you think it's whack.
Yeah, but the second one was
the first one. Just had like I don't know if it was because everybody was so well connected. Here it's like people. Here it's like they're connected, but like the acting was bad. Like everything was just so weird. Over here it was like a tight knit. It was a family. Yeah, Chris Evans did great. They just all did really. Everybody in their role did a really good job. Yeah. But I don't know. I just thought it was a little whack. But what is not whack is that a week from today, the Compas will be in Phoenix at Radio Row. We have so much cool stuff lined up. We have great interviews lined up. We're so excited about what's happening next week. Don't forget, be on the lookout. Every day we will be releasing an episode. There will be constant content on the Compas on the Beat YouTube page, Twitter page, Instagram page, TikTok page. There's a lot of social media stuff. On their OnlyFans page, there's going to be a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of content everywhere. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. Don't forget that we also What's Up Bolts, House of Horns. We will be doing episodes out from Radio Row as well. You never know who's going to stop by the table. So obviously be on the lookout with those two as well. Hey, Combat Compas could also be making, you never know if a WWE, UFC, or boxer stops by. So be on the lookout for that as well. We appreciate you guys so much. It's been an awesome week. Next week, don't forget, be on the lookout for all of our content. It's going to be awesome. We're very excited about being able to go for the second year in a row. We can't wait to show you guys what we've been working on. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget, be a compa, tell a compa, let them know the Compas are going to Radio Row again. Be on the lookout, like, subscribe, comment if you guys have any questions. Any questions about the Super Bowl game, what we're looking forward to, any of that, make sure you shoot them over. We appreciate you guys so much. Gilbert, it's time to get ready. Sabes que vámonos.
Here we go. Dan, get the gas ready. Start the car. Let's go. Phoenix, here we go. On to Radio Row, Super Bowl 57 from Glendale, Arizona. You don't want to get the car?
Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. Glendale, Arizona, Phoenix. You don't want to start the car, whatever. Get my bags in. Here we go. Ya nos vamos. Pues, vámonos.